Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law. Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You gotta help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't
Okay.
need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean.
All rise. All parties raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you, Will. You may be seated. The matter of Anderson Johnson versus Lisa Lee. I understand that you are suing her for $576, the cost of a ticket back home. And you're denying that ticket because you said that he did not honor his agreement to keep your son sober, right?
Yes.
All right, let me hear from you, Mr. Johnson.
Well, Your Honor, I've been a sober person for 4 years now. I've been working with a variety of clients, helping them stay sober. I'd been working with my former client for 3 months prior to this event, and we developed quite a rapport. I consider him a friend now, even though he's no longer a client. The defendant reached out to me, wondering if I would be able to help her son. During this event, she offered me a flat rate of $800 as well as covering my flight and hotel room. I agreed to do it. It was a 3-day event.
This was a wedding?
Yes.
3 days?
Yes.
And it consisted of several events during that wedding?
Including the rehearsal.
And where do you live? Where did he live?
Well, he currently lives in LA. I live in LA. The event was in Boston.
And you were to travel with him to Los Angeles for a wedding?
I traveled
to Boston for a wedding.
I didn't travel with him, no.
Keep him sober?
Yes, once I got there, yes.
Okay, so what happened?
What happened was the first day, everything was going great. We had a good time. I met up with him and my brother at a restaurant, and we had a good time. He stayed sober, I stayed sober, my brother was sober, everything was fine. The next day, during the wedding rehearsal, the defendant made a joke at my client's expense that triggered him. He left the event shortly after. I met up with him about 5 minutes later, and we decided to watch a movie together, stay together in his room, and towards the end of the night, he said that he was feeling better, he was at peace with it. Unfortunately, the next morning, he was gone, and when he turned back later, he was no longer sober.
Okay, now we can talk to him. Step forward. And what's your name?
My name is James Lee, the son of Miss Lee.
All right, so you were the young man that Mr. Johnson was hired to keep keep sober.
That's correct.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Basically what happened is, as Anderson has stated, he did take me to a bar the day before we had the rehearsal, and I didn't have any inclination on wanting to drink. I've been sober for 9 months. He's done a really good job. We've worked together for 3 months now. And the time that triggered it was the rehearsal when my mom made a toast and basically made a remark on me and my brother Justin, the person who's getting married, my younger brother, basically about the cost between how much she had to spend for his wedding in comparison to how much she spent for my rehab.
Oh, that's what she said. The cost that she put into this wedding was nothing compared to the cost she put into your sobriety.
As a joke, my mom thought.
And as a result of that?
I waited for everybody to, after the toast and everything, to get up. My mom did try to chase me down to talk to me. I couldn't have it. I think she was trying to say sorry, but I couldn't handle it. I couldn't deal with it. I just left the premise.
So now what's going on?
I've been sober now for 5 months now, since the incident.
And so, all right, you may have a seat. So where did this $575 come in? What's the cost?
This is the receipt for it. It was $576 I had to pay myself. I'm not even
To get back to,
LA.
because she wouldn't pay it.
Because she revoked it. I had
She
the ticket.
canceled it.
She canceled the ticket at the airport. Not only was the ticket canceled, I had to run to another plane to get on a new flight.
Okay, so that's the $576.
Yes.
That's what you're asking for.
Yes.
Okay. Did she pay the hotel and all the other costs?
She paid the hotel, yes, but she hasn't paid the other $400 that was promised me.
Oh, so the cost of your services was $800.
$800 I've
plus
only been paid.
Airfare plus
Yes.
hotel.
Yes.
So are you asking for the $400?
No, I'm only asking for the $576.
The airfare.
Yes.
You're asking for the $400 that you paid him.
Yes,
you want
Your
him to you want him to give it back to you
Yes.
for his services.
Yes.
So you're waiving the additional $400 that she owes you
Yes,
for your
sir.
services.
Yes.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
I trusted that Anderson was going to watch over him and protect him. Instead, he takes him to a bar to eat, and that's like taking a diabetic to a candy store.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Anderson Johnson, who is suing Lisa Lee for breach of contract.
Now, let me go over here to Miss Lee. You're asking for the $400 back that you paid him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me hear your story.
Well, I hired a sober companion that was a friend that James had felt comfortable with. So since Anderson had already worked with him, I felt like, James was too fragile to be by himself. So I went ahead and paid this money to try to get him somebody who could support him emotionally and take care of him and watch him, because James didn't feel strong enough at first to even go on the trip. So then he said...
So you're telling me that your son told you initially that he didn't want to come, that he didn't think he should, he didn't feel strong enough.
True. But
All
then
right.
I said, well, what if we get the sober companion that you already feel comfortable with to come with you? And then he said, yes, that would help. And so I trusted that Anderson was going to watch over him and protect him. Instead, he takes him to a bar to eat, and that's like taking a diabetic to a candy store. I mean, he should not be in a bar environment, and yet he could have found another place to eat, but he decided to eat at a bar, which is like the worst environment to take somebody who's trying to be in a rehab. And he was saying the argument was for him that, it was close. But, nowadays you could Google on a phone some place that he could take him to eat that wouldn't have any alcohol.
But had he been sober like 8 months or 9 months?
Yes.
So do you continue to avoid going to places where they sell alcohol when you're in recovery?
I try not to. I don't drink. And
You weren't
so-
going to have any alcohol at that wedding?
Well, I wasn't aware because I don't drink, but...
You don't drink, but didn't you sponsor this wedding?
Yes.
And did your other son drink?
I guess you could order it, but I wasn't serving it, in the dinner.
Well, the dinner is a pre-reception dinner. I'm talking about the wedding itself. The next day, the wedding. Was alcohol going to be served at that wedding?
Probably champagne.
Is that alcohol?
Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering. All right, go on. And you had invited your son to come to the wedding?
Yes.
All right. Knowing that champagne would be served.
True.
Go on.
Okay, so
So you don't want to pay him because your son went out on a bench and got drunk the night before
yes.
the wedding?
Unfortunately, he went to the same exact bar that Mr. Anderson took him.
So if he had gone to a different bar, it would be okay?
Not really, but it was convenient, I guess, because it kind of made him want to drink there.
That's not what he said. He didn't drink at the bar. And he said
But he
said at the
wanted
bar.
to.
No, he said what made him want to drink was you.
He was trying to blame me for it.
No, why you say trying to blame you? The son, your son says, what made him drink was the comment that you made at the wedding rehearsal dinner during your toast.
Well, I did apologize to him.
But did you make a statement during your
I did say
toast?
it cost more money for him to be rehabilitated than it did for the wedding, the whole wedding.
And you thought that was funny?
Well, at the time, I thought it was
You
funny.
thought it was a cute little joke?
Yes.
Talking about his rehabilitation, and now he has a sober companion with him, and you bringing it to the attention of everybody at the wedding rehearsal dinner that you've paid money for this young man to stay sober.
Yes.
And you thought that was a joke.
Well, it seemed like funny at the time, but then
But yet you want to not pay Mr. Johnson because he thought when he took him to eat at the bar with his brother, and it was not just a bar, it was also a restaurant, that it was okay. So he made a judgment that it was okay, and now you want to punish him and not pay him back. Your comment sent him over the edge. Not the fact that Mr. Johnson wasn't paying attention to him. And Mr. Johnson does go to sleep, and he has a right to go to sleep, and your son can make up his mind to do what he wants to do. Your son still can make decisions just because he has a sober companion.
I thought that there would be a way that he could make sure that he was watching him.
I can't shackle him to my foot, Your Honor.
That's my point. You can't shackle him in the middle of the night. You can't chain him to the bed. You couldn't. That's not the way sober companions work. Your son is an adult. He still was free to do what he wanted to do. He has to decide that I don't want alcohol. And you're saying him taking him to a bar triggered it, and maybe so. But he says what triggered my desire for alcohol and the return to that was your comments and your embarrassing statements that you made during the wedding, during the toast. And I could see that very well.
Coming up,
I didn't think that it was that sensitive, but he is rather sensitive. He's my, baby.
So you thought he could handle what you said,
Yeah.
but yet you blame him for your son leaving out as a grown man walking to a bar and having a drink.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Anderson Johnson, who is suing Lisa Lee for breach of contract.
He was in the bar, no alcohol, didn't have a desire for alcohol until after your comment. So what do we do for you?
Well, I thought he had been stronger because he was sober for that long. I didn't think that it was that sensitive, but he is rather sensitive. He's my, baby.
So you thought he could handle what you said,
Yeah.
but yet you blame him for your son leaving out as a grown man walking to a bar and having a drink and getting drunk.
Yes, I thought that he would take more responsibility.
No, there are all kinds of things that trigger people when they're going through rehabilitation for alcohol and drugs. And there are any number of factors that trigger. But you want to punish him because he couldn't keep him hog-tied in the room and don't want to pay this man's airfare. And you gave him a ticket round trip is what you promised.
Yes.
And you called the airline and canceled the ticket. Don't tell him. He got to the airport to find out I no longer have a ticket. And he had to get back home. Could you just say, can you reimburse me as opposed to canceling the ticket?
Well, I was just angry.
Yeah, you were angry. And that was not fair. He came with him. He did his part. He cannot ever promise you and anyone else, a sober companion, that the person that I'm with, just because I'm with them, that they will never touch the alcohol or get drunk. That's too much to put on another human being.
Coming up,
That's one of the things they teach us as parents we should never do it anyway, to compare our children with anybody. But in the presence of 40, 50 other people, that was rude.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Anderson Johnson, who is suing Lisa Lee for breach of contract.
The triggering factor was you, your comments.
But I spoke to him after and he seemed okay.
He seemed okay. See, and the other triggering factor is you think you have all the right answers and know what's going on with him and what's best for him and how he's seeming and feeling. He seemed okay. Why do you think he was okay with somebody embarrassing him like that, telling All of these people, how many people at that reception? Probably 50, 75, 80, how many people?
About 40.
Yeah, family and relatives and close friends that I paid more money for his rehabilitation than this wedding cost me. Why put the spotlight on him about his rehabilitation when you're at a wedding celebrating the other son? Put yourself in that position. You have relatives, you have siblings,
Yes.
and you and your parents are together at a function, and your parents compare you to the other sibling and say something negative about you. How does that make you feel?
Well, I'm not as sensitive as James is, so I would not go crazy like that, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, you need to study your child and get to know him. It is real clear that it has been said over and over and over that when you say things to compare children, that's one of the things they teach us as parents we should never do it anyway, to compare our children with anybody, and particularly with each other. But in the presence of 40, 50 other people, that was rude and hurting.
Yes.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
You owe that man his money back. He's fortunate to have been able to get a ticket and to get back home. He has a job. He has responsibilities. And you canceled his airline ticket. You really think that was right?
Well, he did have the $400.
That was for his services that he had rendered.
But I felt like he didn't fulfill that, so that's...
Well, I felt like he did. And I feel like you didn't have the right, and that was really rude, disrespectful, and that he didn't breach his contract. He was with your son. He did his best to keep your son sober, but in doing that, it doesn't mean that he'll never slip.
Well, I just thought it was a bad choice to take him to the bar.
And I think it was a bad choice for you to say what you said about your son in the presence of all those people. So sometimes we make bad choices, and I think it was a bad choice for you to cancel that man's ticket. So I deny your claim for $400, and I'm going to award Mr. Johnson his claim for $576. That's the order of the court.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $576.
I mean, I feel very guilty that I have to, go against my mother. I don't feel comfortable doing that, but I think that she does need to be held accountable for things.
I didn't realize a sober companion didn't have the power to control him more, so that's something I didn't realize.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.